Hey Flowers, Violet here, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be showing you how to start the zebra stitch. I feel like this stitch is where it all began, and it does start with two pieces of gimp, either black and white, as well as two accent colors. So I'm using transparent pink and yellow. Next, I'm cutting them to all be the same length, and I'm grabbing a key ring, and I'm going to just place this at the midpoint of those strings and feed those through the ring, like so. Next, place your thumb on top of that key ring, and you want to move the white strings all to one side and then the black strings all to one side. So for me, I'm gonna fold this white string left over that key ring, and then I'll reach for the black string, and I'm gonna fold this right over the key ring. So that way now I have two white strings on the left and two black strings on the right. And then I'm going to turn the pink and the yellow string vertical so that they are perpendicular to the black and white strings. And this is how we are going to start our quad stitch or our tornado stitch. To do that, I'll start with this yellow string that's on top, and I'm going to bring it down in between the white and the yellow string that are on the bottom. Then I'll grab the yellow string that was on bottom, bring that up. Then the pink one will bring this one down. And then this final pink one, I'll bring that one up like so. So now I have a series of 4 loops. And my next job is to grab the black string on the right here, and I'm going to weave this over and under each of those strings. So over this first pink, underneath the second one. And then I'm going to go over the yellow one. So I need to reach for it. Go over that yellow one and underneath the last one. And then I'll pull this all the way through. I made these kind of long, so it's gonna take me a second. Next up is to reach for one of those white strands. So I'll reach for it in between my fingers here, and I'll find that end. And now I'm going to weave this over and under, but in the opposite direction. So over this first one, underneath this green one, or yellow one, and then over that pink one and underneath the last one. And we'll pull that all the way through. Next, we'll do the black. So it's the same pattern of over the first one, under the second, over the third one, underneath the fourth. And it's that same pattern no matter which side you are weaving from. So let me just straighten this out, and I'm going to pull out those loops so I can get in there a little bit more easily. Sometimes it can be hard to do this stitch because these strings will get kind of tucked away and you have to remember which ones you're going over and under. But you can just reach for them, loosen them up a bit so you can see what you're working on again, and then just weave per the usual. So over and under, going the opposite direction. And now we have started that zebra stitch, and we can pull the entire thing tight like so. So do your best to pull all 8 strings kind of like equal and perpendicular to one another. Sometimes I like to pull 2 at once that are opposite each other and then turn the lanyard and tighten again. Now it's time to do the twisty stitch. So to do that, I need to bring this top string diagonally down to kind of that bottom left corner. Normally, if you were to go straight, you would go in between these 2 strands, but since we're trying to go twisty, I'm actually going to bring this off to the left of that strand. So again, think of it as going diagonally instead of straight across. And then this one, his partner, which was down in the bottom left corner, I'm going to bring this up in between that green and that pink. And I'll use my pointer finger to hold that in place. Next, I'll grab this pink string here, and I'll bring this one down in between the yellow and pink. And I'll hold this with my fingers. And then finally, I can finish off by reaching for this last pink one. And again, like I said, the trick with this one is sometimes the strings will like wiggle out of place and you just have to remember where they go. So next, finally finishing off with this pink one, which we're bringing up diagonally as well and holding back there. Now we can weave our side strings just like we did when we started, doing that same pattern of over, under, over, under. So find the end of this wherever it is, because like I said, I made these strings super long. And I'm going to go over this first pink one here on the right, underneath the second, over this yellow one, underneath the last one, reach for it and pull all the way through. Next, I'll reach for a black string, which is on the left, And another trick, in case you want to get faster at weaving, is to actually weave with loops as opposed to weave by grabbing the end of the string. So you'll notice that I just have like a loop that I formed with that left string, and I'm just tucking kind of the start of that string under, and then I pull it all the way through. And this way I don't have to worry about like finding the end of the string and weaving it through. And it makes it a little bit quicker. So I'll show you, like with the white, I go and I reach and I find where the end of that string is, and then I weave it through. But with that black one, I just made a little loop, pulled that loop over and under them, and then pulled the whole thing through. So it makes it a little bit faster. But yeah, so again, just doing the same pattern of over and under, and I'll pull this all the way through, and then I'll finish by doing the same thing to that last black string. And then I'm going to repeat this process. There is nothing else that you have to do to get the zebra effect. That was a great question I got asked recently, was do you need to keep alternating the strings to get the pattern? And the answer to that is no. Once you have started it, it's going to alternate and give you that zebra effect as you so desire. So continue to do these stitches, and eventually you will have something that looks like this. So when you get down to having a couple inches of string left, you are prepared to finish, and you'll want to leave your last stitch a little bit loose. So you'll see that I didn't completely tighten this, and that is because I want to be able to tuck my strings underneath their little partners here, like so. And then I'm going to pull this all the way through, and you can kind of like twist them around so that they're all facing the same way. But yeah, that's essentially how we're going to finish it. So we're going to do this to all of the strands now. So I'll reach for the pink one, and I'm going to tuck it under this part here, and then up through the center. And then for the black ones, these ones we will tuck underneath their white partners here. So up underneath there, and pull that all the way through. And then for this one, underneath here, and all the way through. And we'll continue that all the way around. Once they're all through, we can give it one last good tug, one last pull and tighten, and voila, we have finished the zebra stitch. If you made it this far, thank you so much. I appreciate you for helping me keep the nostalgia of lanyard making alive. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one. Keep blooming.